Chow Kit Market never truly sleeps. Even long after midnight, its narrow corridors pulse with leftover sounds, metal shutters rattling, stray cats weaving between crates, and the distant hum of a city that refuses to rest. But there is another sound too. One that only a few hear, a faint knocking, a hungry whisper, a voice asking for food long after the living have left the stalls behind. Locals call it the hungry ghost of Chow Kit, and this is how a man named Farid came face to face with it. Farid worked as a market cleaner during the night shift. He preferred the silence, the absence of crowds, and the chance to finish his work before dawn. To him, Chow Kit After Dark was just a workplace dim, sprawling, chaotic, but familiar. He did not believe in ghosts. He believed only in exhaustion, bills, and the comfort of getting the job done. One night, he arrived earlier than usual. The vendor lights were off, the corridors still shrouded in blue shadow. Rain dripped lazily from the tarps above, forming puddles that mirrored the hanging bulbs. As Farid pushed his cart of cleaning tools into the main corridor, he felt the air shift as if someone had just walked past him. He looked around. No one. He began sweeping the long central stretch of the market. Plastic wrappers, wilted vegetables, and fish scales littered the floor. Then he heard it. A faint tapping, like chopsticks striking a metal bowl. Tap, tap. Prid paused, looking toward the seafood section. The stalls were dark, their counters wiped clean hours earlier. He took a step forward. The sound stopped. He shook his head. Probably a rat, he muttered to himself. But deep inside, a small unease began to coil. As he moved deeper into the market, a new scent drifted in. It was sweet, but wrong, like fruit left too long in the heat. Rotting, but sugary. The smell grew stronger with each step. Farid covered his nose. Which vendor left something out? He followed the scent to a noodle stall. Bowls were stacked neatly, chairs folded. Nothing left behind. But the smell, it came from under the counter. Farid crouched down and froze. There, in a bowl, sat a fresh offering of rice. Steam still rising. Beside it, a pair of wooden chopsticks. Someone had placed it recently, very recently, but no vendor had been here for hours. Farid backed away, pushing his cart slowly. Then came the sound. Soft footsteps. Bare feet touching damp concrete. Step, step, step. He turned sharply. No one, but the footsteps continued circling him, too soft to belong to anyone heavy, too steady to be a rat or cat. Farid's heartbeat quickened. He gripped the mop handle tighter. "Who's there?" he called out. Silence. Only the dripping of rain and the distant hum of fluorescent lights. Just then, the metal shutter at the far end creaked open. An old fruit vendor stepped in, arriving earlier than usual. "Farid, you're here alone?" she asked, surprised. Farid nodded, relief washing over him. "Yeah, I just started. Do you smell something weird?" The old woman stiffened. Her face shifted from curiosity to fear. "What kind of smell? Sweet?" like something rotting. She stepped closer, whispering urgently, "You shouldn't be here alone when that smell appears." Farid frowned. "What do you mean?" The woman swallowed hard. "During Ghost Month, not all spirits stay in temples. Some wander to the places they died. A hungry ghost visits this market. It comes looking for food, for offerings, for anything." Farid laughed nervously. "It's probably just drains or spoiled fruit." The woman grabbed his wrist. "Listen to Myth. You hear knocking, do not answer. Do not look directly at it, and never accept food from something you cannot see." Before Farid could respond, she closed her stall shutter and muttered prayers. The market felt colder than before. Farid continued sweeping, but the warnings clawed at his mind. Then it came knock. A single, sharp knock, on a wooden surface somewhere behind him. He turned, nothing. Knock, knock. This time faster, more desperate. He traced the sound to a closed staller meat vendor's booth. The knocking grew louder, rattling the shutters. Something or someone was inside. Farid stepped back, then a voice whispered from behind the metal, "I'm hungry." Farid's breath caught. The voice was thin, starved, empty. He slowly backed away, but the voice followed as if crawling through the air. "Feed me." The lights above flickered. The entire row of bulbs buzzed, dimmed, then snapped back with a harsh white glow, and that was when Farid saw it. At the end of the corridor, a shape stood beside the vegetable crates. A human shape, thin, bent, skin grey and stretched tight over bone. Its head tilted like a broken marionette. It raised one arm toward him and whispered, "Food." Farid stumbled back, knocking over his bucket. The creature stepped forward, each movement jerky and starving, like its bones were too sharp for its body. Farid ran, the cart toppled, cleaning tools scattering behind him. The creature moved faster, dragging its limbs, scraping its fingers along the walls, leaving long streaks of grime. "Don't run." Farid darted through the maze of stalls, past fruit crates, past hanging tarps, past fish counters that still dripped water. The creature's breathing filled the corridor, wet, shallow, ravenous. Then Farid tripped over a crate and slammed into the floor. He turned, and the hungry ghost stood only a few steps away. Farid crawled backward into a narrow side passage. The ghost followed, hunched, shuddering. Then Farid saw it, a small altar tucked behind a pillar. Burnt incense, old ashes, and a ceramic plate used for offerings. Farid grabbed a sealed packet of leftover rice from his cleaning bag, something a vendor had handed him earlier. With shaking hands, he placed it on the altar. The ghost froze. Its head twitched. Slowly, painfully, it turned toward the offering. The shadows around it swirled as it leaned forward, hands trembling. It touched the rice. And for the first time, Farid saw its face, sunken eyes, hollow cheeks, a mouth so starved it seemed carved into its skull. The creature inhaled deeply as if savoring the presence of food, not the food itself. A long, aching sigh left its lips. Then it vanished. like smoke dissolving into the air. When daylight finally crept into Chow Kit, the vendors returned. They found Farid sitting beside the altar, shaken but alive. The old fruit vendor approached him quietly. "You saw it, didn't you?" Farid nodded weakly. She placed a hand on his shoulder. "Hungry ghosts cannot move on. They died with cravings so deep, even the afterlife couldn't fill them." Farid stood, trembling. "I'm never working alone again." The old woman gave him a sad smile. "No one should." As Farid exited the market, sunlight warming his face, he heard one last whisper carried by the morning breeze. "Thank you." He didn't look back. He didn't need to. He knew some hungers never truly fade, and some spirits never really leave Chow Kit Market. The night over Chow Kit Market breathes like a wounded creature, slow, ragged, and trembling. The final stall shutters clatter shut, leaving only the echo of footsteps that do not belong to the living. Beneath the hanging tarps, a faint rustle stirs, followed by the cold whisper of an empty stomach that has not known satisfaction for centuries. Some say the hungry ghost seeks offerings, others insist it seeks witnesses. But those who have truly stood in the dark alleyway beside the old fish stalls know it seeks company. If you ever find yourself wandering past Chow Kit after midnight and the lights flicker like timid fireflies, do not look toward the shadows. The moment you meet its hollow gaze, the moment you acknowledge its hunger, it will follow you home, and the market will no longer be the only place it haunts. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like and subscribe for more.